That night I thought I was safe until the mattress sank. Warmth slid along my skin, and a hot whisper claimed me. I froze, certain I was awake, but what happened after was far worse. The night had the kind of stillness that makes every sound sharper, every breath too loud. I lay on my side, one arm curled under the pillow, the other resting near the edge of the bed. The thin strap of my nightdress slid down my shoulder, exposing more skin than I realized. Should have been nothing, just another night of exhaustion, just another attempt to drift into rest. Yet from the moment I closed my eyes, something about the quiet felt wrong. It wasn't silence that comforted. It was silence that waited. The first shift was almost nothing, a subtle tug at the mattress like the faintest dip of weight. My chest tightened, my lashes fluttered, and I told myself it was only me, breathing too heavily, moving in my sleep. But then it came again, deeper this time, slower, the kind of pressure that told you there was intention behind it. How could a bed move like that on its own? How could air grow this heavy without reason? I froze. My fingers tightened around the sheet, my knuckles pressing into the fabric. My legs curled slightly, instinct begging me to hide. But I didn't move beyond that, because part of me feared the truth of what I would see if I opened my eyes. Would it be worse to find nothing there, or something too real to deny? Warmth brushed my thigh. It was faint at first, featherlight, gliding in a way that was deliberate but patient. My breath caught instantly. Goosebumps rippled across my skin as the contact lingered, climbing higher, learning every inch it touched. I wanted to scream, but my throat locked tight. Why didn't I push it away? Why did my body, despite my fear, tremble as though it was waiting for more? The air thickened, carrying a scent that didn't belong. Earth after rain, faint sweetness curling through every inhale. I breathed it in without choice, and dizziness followed. My thoughts blurred. The room swayed around me. Was this how it would break me? Not with violence, but with surrender? Heat gathered at my ear, breath steady, curling across my skin. My lips parted without sound, and then the message came, not spoken aloud but carved straight into me. Mine. I shivered violently, clamping my eyes shut. My body stiffened, but the trembling betrayed me, every quake more obvious than the last. Could it sense the weakness? Was it savoring the way I fought myself more than I fought it? The blanket shifted next, sliding downward inch by inch, as though unseen hands had taken hold. My shoulder, my hip, my leg, all bared gradually to the night air. I clutched the sheet tighter, but it slipped further anyway, exposing me to whatever leaned close. The bed dipped harder, weight pressing along my side. My chest rose in shallow bursts, my pulse frantic. Something was there, something that had chosen me, and I knew then. The night had only just begun. The mattress groaned beneath me, dipping deeper as if the weight had fully claimed its place beside me. My chest pressed harder into the sheets, my arm trapped awkwardly beneath the pillow, while the other clutched the blanket that was no longer shielding me. The silence thickened, heavy and suffocating, pulsing with something that wasn't my own. The touch came back. This time there was no hesitation. Invisible fingers slid from my hip across my waist, following the shape of me as though it already knew the path. My skin erupted with goosebumps, each nerve screaming. My breath broke into shallow bursts. Why didn't I move? Why didn't I fight? Was it because a deeper part of me wanted to know what would happen next? Heat spread across my back, hovering too close, sinking through fabric as if it didn't exist. I tried to whisper, but only a broken gasp escaped. The presence seemed to answer with patience, tracing a line down my spine and pausing at the small hollow there. My body jerked, arching slightly against my will. Then came the breath, hot, measured, curling across the side of my neck, spilling warmth into every nerve it touched. My lips parted. The word followed, not sound, but meaning etched directly into me. Mine. The claim vibrated through bone and blood, shattering what little resistance I had left. The sheets tightened suddenly, drawn taut as though unseen hands clutched them on either side. My arms, already stretched, felt locked in place. My legs twitched, but pressure held them down, caging me completely. The scent thickened, earth, damp, faintly sweet, so strong it blurred the edges of the room. My chest heaved, pulling it in even as my mind screamed to resist. The bed shifted again, weight lowering directly over me. My heart slammed violently, each beat painful. I thought I would suffocate beneath it, thought the silence would swallow me whole. Was this how it ended? Not with a scream, but with my body giving in? Light flickered suddenly. The lamp on the dresser sparked once, twice, a trembling glow spilling across the walls. My eyes darted open for just a second, desperate for proof, and in that fractured light, I saw it. A shadow bent over me, darker than any shape should be, leaning so close its outline blurred into mine. My lungs froze, my chest locked, the light snapped out, darkness returned, thicker, heavier, pressing against me with undeniable intent. I squeezed my eyes shut, trembling, praying the night would release me. But the weight didn't lift. The silence didn't leave. And in that breathless moment, I realized the worst hadn't even begun. The darkness felt alive. It pressed against me from every direction, suffocating, relentless. My chest strained with every shallow inhale, my arms limp above my head, my legs locked in place by a weight I could neither see nor resist. The silence wasn't empty. It breathed with me, pulsing like a second heartbeat. The touch returned, stronger now. Fingers glided across my waist, sliding lower, pausing just long enough to make my body quake. I wanted to thrash, to scream, but my voice fractured before it formed, and my body betrayed me, trembling in ways I couldn't hide. Could it feel that? Did it know that every ounce of fear twisted with something darker, something I couldn't deny? Hot breath curled at my ear. The whisper followed, not spoken aloud, yet clear as a mark carved into me. Mine. The word shattered my chest, dragging a gasp from my lips. Shame surged through me, but the presence seemed to relish it, lowering further, pressing its weight fully across my back. The sheets pulled tighter, stretching against my body as if gripped by unseen hands. My fingers clawed at the fabric, but it wouldn't budge. The scent thickened, damp and sweet, coiling through my lungs until my thoughts blurred. My pulse hammered wildly, my vision spotted with panic, and I thought, this is it. This is how it ends. But then it stopped. The weight lifted. The warmth vanished. The air turned cold and empty in an instant. My chest heaved, dragging in desperate gulps of air as though I'd been drowning. My arms fell at my sides, my body trembling from release. For a fragile moment, I thought it was over, and then I saw them. 2 deep indentations pressed into the blanket at my sides, knees, perfectly shaped, perfectly still. My stomach dropped, my pulse roaring in my ears. I couldn't breathe, couldn't move as the impressions began to shift, dragging forward inch by inch, closer to where my arms still clutched the sheets. I squeezed my eyes shut, whispering, begging the night to release me. When I opened them again, the fabric was smooth. The room was still, but the silence wasn't empty. It hummed with promise, thick and patient. Even now, when I close my eyes, I wait for it. The dip of the mattress, the warmth at my skin, the whisper at my ear. Because once something finds you like this, you never sleep alone again. Have you ever felt an unseen touch in the dark? Share your story in the comments. I want to know. Don't forget to subscribe to Paranormal Sleep for more chilling midnight encounters, because the next story might be yours.